Доброе утро, Belgrad, ja muuki maailma, ja muumimaailma. There has been a lot of talk about the 24-hour curfew, perhaps or perhaps not, coming into play soon. The president expressed something about taking this decision within the next 3 or 4 days. We'll see. Perhaps we'll end up like Romania, who is, as I understand now, sitting in 24-hour curfew for the next 2 weeks. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I got a comment from someone on YouTube saying that they were stuck in Romania at the moment, and that it wasn't that bad. We always tend to think that being stuck somewhere else other than our home country is somehow worse. It's not. And I hear that grocery shoppers are encouraged to keep their groceries on the balcony and, of course, sanitize each product with hand sanitization or alcohol or whatever you have. Although I am no expert and I don't have an expert opinion in this matter at all, so I feel it's a little bit strange to put out bread and meat out on the balcony. It is cold enough, it'll preserve, but there are birds. So I am a little bit skeptical about that. That is my human right, but I don't encourage anybody to follow my lead just because. In today's video I want to talk about Finnish strength. And no, I'm not talking about nationalistic BS and propaganda. I want to talk about psychological strength. I got a question from a YouTuber asking me what my thoughts on the Finnish feministic government were. Here's what I think. The current government of Finland is very young and fresh. They've not been in office for very long yet. They're also young age-wise, with the Prime Minister actually being the youngest elected serving state leader in the world at the time she was elected. Soon, Sebastian Kurz of Austria took that title. The world is changing. Out with the old, in with the new. Grandmas and grandpas, step down, get retired. We got this. The previous government, which I have mentioned as probably the most hated government in Finnish history, was finally forced to resign after multiple failed attempts to change laws, legislations that broke the constitution which Finland is built on, just in order to benefit the rich elite a little bit more at the expense of well-being of its people. Does that sound familiar? Finland is a bit slow and iron-fisted when it comes to the constitution, so these attempts failed. The government, of course, already created a mess and had a lot of work, and universities closed. Universities were stripped of money, hospitals were shut down, educated people in Finland moved away. The government basically created a mass evacuation of educated people to become work refugees in other countries that were smart enough to have them. So Finland's stupid government took a dump in their own pants, and then they started wondering, where's the smell coming from? Yeah, that's the problem. Especially in Finland, who has what? And then there was a lot of hate speech going around, because that's what we people do. When we get frustrated, we dump our poo on other people and hope that we're gonna feel better for that. We're not. Please forgive me, there is profanity coming up now, and if you don't want to listen to it, then fast forward about 30 seconds. Rinkirunkku. When a bunch of guys get together, sit in a ring and jerk each other off. In diplomatic, this is called when the elite sits together and pats each other's backs. When the old government resigned, the old farts were still around, the ring broke somehow, and these treacherous bastards started plotting against each other. So after everyone had stabbed each other's backs and no one was left alive, the Finnish women rose up to the occasion and took the place. They were always there. They were just not given the space before. And now I think it's one of the best things that ever happened here, because I would not want to have anybody else run the country through this coronavirus. The government of Finland is now planning for post-corona measures. I wanted to bring up true heroes and heroism of Finland, not to promote Finland, but to promote humanity in these times. It is good for us to remember and be inspired by courageous acts. First up we have Minna Kant, who is one of Finland's first and foremost social activists. And Tove Jansson should need no introduction. If I say Moomin, what say you? Speaking of Moomin, we have our own Muumimamma, Tarja Halonen, former president. Saara Kanerva, the oldest Lotta in Finland. The Lottas were the auxiliary unit of women helping out soldiers close to the front line. However, the role of Lotta was not reserved for working class, which is something I've learned of later in life. And one of my own personal favorites, Ira Vihrelehto. This person wrote a book which taught me a lot about my own heritage in true words, instead of this propaganda that I have been fed all my life. I got to learn about people and life in its glory and misery and horrible things as well as good things. And it's like all my life I've been reading about my own family through Wikipedia instead of actually sitting down and talking to them. Kiitos, Ira. She's like a Finnish Svetlana Alekseyevich, and she has done a lot of work, a lot of hard work and research to find out and dig up the truth about a lot of stuff that Finland wants to hide in shame. Martti Ahtisaari, former president of Finland, might sound familiar to Serbian ears. Karina Appel, war photographer, very loved by all of her colleagues. I am very sorry that time did not give me the opportunity to get to know her better. Paleface, rapper turned cultural activist, socialist, and amazing person with amazing lyrical skills. Arman Alizad, Iranian-born tailor, now a social celebrity, a controversial person which made him the celebrity he is, and he says what he thinks, which makes him both hated and loved. So, he started a show called Kill Arman, where he goes out into the world, learns about a certain martial arts type, trains it for a week, and then challenges the Zen master and gets his ass kicked. People who hate him love the show because he gets his ass kicked, and people who love him. Aira Samulin, dancer, dance teacher, actress, and activist. Her age? 93. Like Arman Alizad, she's a very controversial person, and she also says exactly what's what and what she thinks. Tiina Piilola, another author in this case, she wrote a book dissecting our national epos, the Kalevala, and the roles that the women in it play. It's very interesting because the epos is more about relationships and nature rather than heroic deeds and battles. I wear a pendant designed by a company called Kalevala. It's the female version of the Finnish lion. The male version is the one on the passport. Placing these two beside each other, you see that the Finnish lion bears arms and is looking to the left, to the past, while the feminist lion bears no arms and is looking to the right, to the future. And I'm sure somebody's wondering why I'm not bringing up marshals and snipers.